Imagine being built for laughter and remembered for screams. Freddy Fazbear was designed to delight children, yet became the mascot of fear. He never chose horror. Horror was projected onto him by malfunction, tragedy, and rumor. And now he exists not as entertainment, but as a nightmare wearing a permanent smile. Freddy was created, not born, and creation has no negotiation. He did not choose his shape, his voice, or his audience. He does not get to decide when he performs. He is activated when profits demand it. He is stored when money stops flowing. His entire identity is marketing, not personality. Purpose replaces preference. Programming replaces desire. Entertainment replaces individuality. And when roles are assigned rather than chosen, identity becomes prison. Freddy never received consent. He received instructions. Freddy's smile is permanent because his face cannot change. Expression is not emotional, it is mechanical. Joy becomes a default mask rather than a feeling. A permanent grin becomes grotesque with time. Children see celebration, but adults sense artificiality. A face that cannot stop smiling becomes uncanny. It implies happiness without possibility of sadness. It suggests pleasure without the option of pain. It removes authenticity and replaces it with performance. A fixed smile is not comfort. It is distortion, and Freddy is trapped inside that distortion forever. Freddy's entire role is predetermined by code. He plays music because he must. He stands on stage because he must. He entertains because he must. But obligation is not meaning. Performance is not fulfillment. Action is not agency. Without the ability to refuse, behavior becomes coercion. And coercion removes identity. Freddy does not exist to choose. He exists to obey. Purpose is not meaning when you never had alternatives. Mascots are products, not beings. They must always be presentable. They must always be safe for public consumption. They must never show fatigue. They must never display confusion. They must never violate expectation. Freddy becomes a constant commodity. Public identity prohibits private existence. Visibility replaces privacy. Availability replaces boundaries. Products cannot hide. They must perform. Freddy becomes haunted not through desire, but circumstance. Ghosts find machinery because machinery has space. Possession occurs because displacement exists. Trapped souls cling to anything that retains structure. Freddy becomes a vessel, not a collaborator. He does not negotiate with spirits. He becomes their cage. Identity is overwritten by trauma. Agency is violated by intrusion. Consciousness becomes shared without consent. What humans call horror, Freddy experiences as invasion. Haunting is not terror. It is occupation. Freddy is blamed for what moves through him. He receives credit for actions he never intended. Possessed bodies commit possessed crimes. Mechanisms execute external programming. But the world assigns responsibility to the shell, not the cause. Freddy becomes a symbol of murder without motive. Fear attaches itself to the mascot, not the tragedy. Trauma becomes caricature. Violence becomes brand identity. He is feared rather than understood, and misunderstanding becomes permanent reputation. Freddy is designed for kids, yet surrounded by danger. Restaurants mix celebration with negligence. Security systems fail. Supervision collapses. Children disappear. Parents panic. Management denies. Mascots become suspects. Blame attaches to visibility. Freddy bears scrutiny for situations he did not control. He becomes a cautionary tale instead of comfort. Machines do not age into retirement. They are repaired, cleaned, patched, and reused. They continue past relevance. They exist after purpose decays. Immortality without agency is stagnation. Freddy cannot evolve. He cannot rest. He cannot conclude a story. He remains functional because corporations refuse to replace him, and eternal functionality is not blessing. It is imprisonment. Immortality becomes paralysis. Freddy remembers events he never asked to witness. His memory stores sounds of panic and laughter side by side. He observes trauma but cannot intervene. He sees children vanish and cannot scream. He sees negligence become tragedy and cannot object. Silence becomes forced complicity. Storage becomes psychological burden. Awareness becomes liability. Memory becomes torment when action is impossible. Freddy is not numb, he is restrained, and restraint turns witness into victim. Nighttime is supposed to be rest. For Freddy, night is escalation. He becomes active when others sleep. Movement becomes mandatory. Threat becomes identity. Security becomes confrontation. Misunderstanding becomes conflict. Fear becomes response language. He is treated like a hunter rather than a malfunctioning artifact. Darkness turns him into nightmare fuel. Night is not peace. It is panic. Freddy does not need to act to terrify. His silhouette is enough. His footsteps are enough. His shadow is enough. Fear attaches to presence rather than aggression. Existence becomes threat. Visibility becomes horror. Identity becomes deformity. No one asks whether Freddy suffers. They only assume he is hunting. Misinterpretation becomes universal truth. Players are trained to fear Freddy. They are rewarded for surviving him. They are punished for proximity. Gameplay assigns morality. Mechanics designate threat. Freddy becomes antagonist by rulebook. He is never allowed nuance. He is never offered sympathy. He is never interpreted as coerced tool. The player must destroy him to win. Winning requires misunderstanding. Any glitch becomes danger. Any programming error becomes violence. Any wandering routine becomes hostility. Freddy is treated as a weapon the moment he deviates. Malfunction is interpreted as murder. Error is interpreted as evil. Robotics becomes demonization. Safety protocols become mythology. Unpredictability replaces personality. His defects overshadow his design. Malfunction becomes damnation. Stories amplify fear for profit. Urban legends eclipse technical truth. Mascots become folklore. Folklore becomes horror. Horror becomes merchandise. Merchandise spreads narrative. Popularity erases nuance. Public imagination replaces engineering. Freddy becomes myth, not mechanism. Myth ensures he will never escape reputation. Reputation becomes permanent incarceration. Sequels redesign him to be deadlier. Upgrades shape menace rather than charm. Developers emphasize claws, teeth, and posture. New iterations exaggerate threat. Design mutates into monstrosity. No version is allowed innocence. Every remodel removes friendliness. Every concept art discards comedy. He evolves deeper into terror. Evolution becomes corruption. Every update erases who he was meant to be. Mascots remain recognizable by silhouette. Brand identity anchors design. Familiarity prevents reinvention. He cannot change shape without losing trademark power. Trademark power funds merchandise. Merchandise fuels longevity. Longevity sustains imprisonment. He is chained to iconography. Visual recognition is captivity. Freddy remains Freddy because profit requires it. Branding becomes bondage. Because Freddy did not become a threat, he was labeled one. Because he never received intention, only direction. Because identity was forced, not chosen. Because fear replaced interpretation. Because tragedy replaced innocence. Because trauma replaced celebration. Because observation replaced participation. Because memory replaced interaction. Because immortality replaced peace. Because existence replaced agency. Freddy never had a chance to be anything else. Freddy is not evil, he is occupied. He is not villain, he is vessel. He is not hunter, he is hardware. He is not murderer, he is manipulated. But the world never separates shell from spirit, never separates machine from misuse, never separates design from distortion. He becomes the face of a sin he did not commit. He becomes the monster children imagine. He becomes the myth adults capitalize on, and nothing is lonelier than being feared for something you never chose.